The reason why I reached out and thinking about applying to the grant was because we saw in previous years the utilization rate of our center increase. And I knew that with the pandemic and after this initial couple years of the pandemic, it was only going to get worse.
It wasn't just the virus that was really impacting our Black and Brown communities. We also had to deal with, the economy just kind of going downhill. We also had to deal with a lot of racial confrontation that, let's just face it, a lot of the nation didn't want to address.
This is a population that, for one, I think, have struggled just in general to find a community. Because we obviously don't have as many African American men, represented on campus in different areas of campus, for instance. There may be a class that an African American male or an undocumented student may go to, and they're the only one there, from that particular group, right? What does that do to a student? What does that do, to their psyche? What does that do, to their sense of belonging, their sense of, being able to contribute?
Oberlin, even though it's very special, it represents a lot of the same challenges that many communities have, including discrimination in all of its forms. So when individuals, as many know, are pressed in the area of discrimination, being limited because of race, skin color, age, ableism, it provides additional stress that we have normally in our efforts to live in society and be human.
Research is telling us that the student body is changing, and there's a lot more anxiety. There are many more students who are receiving accommodations for mental health disabilities. There's a lot more pressure.
I think that Oberlin sort of wants to focus a little bit more on proactive instead of reactive.
In the roles that we take as therapists, that's what we love to do. We love to dive deep with one person, right? But sometimes when you hear these systemic things that are impacting individuals, you can't just leave it at supporting the individual. There's that calling, that pull to want to address the systems.
The one thing that I really like about Rise and Thrive is it focus on individuals or minority populations who might not have resources available for them.
So looking to the future, as we're thinking about this partnership and what else can come about it, we're really thinking about, and I feel like I say this a lot, just long-term sustainability. So how do we bring in funding that'll last my presence here on this team, the rest of the staff here at Oberlin that's been working on this grant? How can we create something that's going to outlive all of us, that will continue to be able to be progressive and developed in what the students' needs are?
The grant gave us an opportunity to think outside the box. We can't just have students funneled through one department because we wouldn't have enough staff. There's not enough staff in the state to try to just address mental health. So we thought that this could be a possibility of trying to expand the support to other resources and to have the community itself be a system of support.
This opportunity to work with the Rise and Thrive grant, it's what I think all of our souls needed during COVID, to feel that sense of empowerment and an opportunity to think about how do we think about this as a organization and not just in that one-on-one context.
We can become a little bit more trauma informed and become more trauma aware and more trauma mindful. I think it's going to help everyone, not just the students, but the faculty and staff who have gone through this same experience altogether.
The impact that I hope to see of the Rise and Thrive grant on campus is, number one, I hope that it will reduce stigma and that it will bring awareness around the campus about the importance of mental health and substance use disorder needs on campus. And then number two, I hope that it will allow individuals and students to feel more comfortable accessing services through the counseling center and get their needs met, and then become more resilient and to cope with mental health challenges that might occur.